Guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I seen this story a few days ago and never reported on it because I want to see if anything else came out on it. And it's the story about a young lady who was a sergeant by the name of Sarah Roque, pictured here. This woman was killed on an army base by another soldier. This guy right here, Booster Ramsey. He's a specialist. He's a sergeant. And this happened in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. And I'm going to show you a little bit about the story and what they've discovered so far. And we'll come back and talk about it. This is very upsetting, with me being a veteran and all. Take a look.
A murder investigation on a military base. A soldier found dead in a dumpster at Fort Leonard Wood. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Maxwell Kelly Jackson, and all ready to have the night off. Right now, the Army's Criminal Investigation Division, the FBI, and local law enforcement are all looking into this death. Our Megan Kernan traveled to that base today and joins us now in studio with more. Megan?
Well, Mark, we spent the day at Fort Leonard Wood where many are mourning the loss of beloved soldier 23-year-old Sergeant Sarah Roque. We talked to people on post and in the community who are shocked and saddened. The St. Robert area says Sergeant Roque has left a lasting impact.
I mean, a soldier? Come on. Soldiers don't get killed and thrown in a dumpster on post. That's wrong.
Sergeant Sarah Roque was reported missing Monday morning after she failed to report for duty. Later that evening, her body was found in a dumpster near the single soldiers' quarters at Fort Leonard Wood.
It can put some fear into people, like if it happened on base, where else could it happen, you know what I mean?
The news of Roque's death has startled the entire community, including Joe Wilkinson, a retired master sergeant who was stationed at Fort Leonard Wood for 12 years and has lived in the area ever since.
Soldiers do not need to die when they're on their own Army installation.
Jonathan Wallace has lived in St. Robert his whole life and feels Fort Leonard Wood is a safe base. That's why he's in disbelief.
You're on a military base. Everybody's supposed to be family on a military base because this is a small town. This wouldn't be as prosperous without Fort Leonard Wood here. And I just don't understand why something like this would happen.
Roque enlisted in 2020 and completed her basic combat training at Fort Leonard Wood. The Indiana native was a bridge crew member serving as a mine dog handler with the K-9 detachment.
She was a good woman, good soldier.
I wonder what her higher-ups and the people who are under her are thinking right now, especially her family. I feel for them. I'll be praying for them because that's a big loss.
U.S. Army leaders in Missouri held a news conference today regarding the 21-year-old specialist preliminarily charged with killing a Ligonier soldier.
Sergeant Sarah Roque was found dead at Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri last week. Reporter Chris Bryant has more.
The last time a homicide had happened on post here at Fort Leonard Wood was 2019. This morning at a briefing and giving updates into the death and murder of Sergeant Sarah Roque, Major General Christopher Beck said this is one he's taking personally.
She was a sister, she was a warrior, and she was a battle buddy and a member of our team.
A bridge crew member and mine dog handler with the K-9 detachment, Sergeant Sarah Roque was reported missing when she didn't appear to formation on the morning of October 21st. After a search, her body was found on post at Fort Leonard Wood near the single soldier housing in a dumpster.
As a leader and a commander, I take this personally. I hold very dear that I am responsible for what goes on in this installation.
The Army Criminal Investigation Division, along with the FBI, conducted an investigation into the death of Sergeant Roque.
The Army Office of Special Trial Counsel has preferred court-martial charges against Specialist Worcester Rancy and will make the prosecution decisions in this case moving forward.
The charges against Specialist Rancy is for murder and obstructing justice in violation of Articles 118 and 131B of the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
And all of the details of that timeline are still part of the investigation.
When it comes to the relationship between Sergeant Roque and Specialist Rancy.
So that is still part of the ongoing investigation, so I'd rather not discuss any details related to that.
Specialist Rancy was ordered into pretrial confinement on October 24th and has been transferred to the Midwest Joint Regional Confinement Facility at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas on October 30th. On October 29th, Sarah Roquet's body was returned home to Indiana. And while Sergeant Roquet's family is preparing for her funeral, this week, her unit held a memorial on post in her honor.
Yesterday, the unit had a very touching memorial. And while that does not bring closure, that is a critical step in the healing of that unit and the family.
While questions still remain about the connection between Sergeant Roquet and Specialist Rancy and the details into her death, command staff is working to make sure her teammates are healing, along with not forgetting her memory.
We will always keep Sergeant Sarah Emily Roque in our thoughts.
Funeral services for Sergeant Sarah Roquet are scheduled to take place tomorrow afternoon. When it comes to her canine Zorro, the Army has not made a decision yet on the dog's future, but expects it to return to full active duty in the near future. At Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, Chris Bryant, 21 Alive News.
Guys, that's the story. And as tragic as the story is, what's even more tragic is this girl was thrown in the dumpster. She was found in the dumpster like common trash. You're a U.S. soldier. Served the country just like everybody else, just like the fool that took her life. Mr. Ramsey. Now, I seen this. I was going to do this story Saturday. Now, here it is Monday. I was supposed to do that 2 days ago, where they were talking to his family. And the family didn't really talk to the media like that, except for they said a few things. They said, we don't know why he did that, if he did it, but we don't know what would made him do that. But the way they was talking, it was kind of like, they say, oh, he's a good person. I don't know why he did it. It was like they weren't defensive of him, but they wasn't like also like saying, hey, I don't see him as being somebody that couldn't do that. So I don't know. I guess they didn't want to give out too many details, but saying in violation of Article 118 and 131B. In the Uniform Code of Military Justice. 118 is murder. 131B is obstruction of justice. And it's crazy. You threw a soldier away, being a soldier yourself, and because of God knows whatever. I'm gonna ask you guys in the comment section what you think this is about. I think it has something to do with like affairs of the heart. That's what I think it has something to do with. But I mean, you never know. But I mean, I don't see a soldier going all out and losing his damn mind and going and killing a woman, I guess, unless he had some type of affinity for her and was rejected or something. That's just my opinion. But either way, this is a damn shame. I mean, I don't know if they're lowering the standards of people getting in the military, but I mean, come on. In the 90s, when I was in there, you ain't really see stuff like this. It's just like we just have a radical shift in the mental mindset of human beings nowadays, where they lose their mind and think that's acceptable after all the training and understanding of how important your position is. Hers matters too, for you to just say, F it all, I'm going to do this. That girl mattered. Mattered to her family. Mattered to the country. She was a mind dog trainer, a dog handler. I didn't even know it was such a thing. You know what I'm saying? Said she was only in the Army since 2020. She joined in 2020. She's dead already? So what, she didn't even finish her 4-year term and she's dead? Either way, this guy is in Leavenworth right now. That's a rough spot. If anybody knows about those type of federal holding, that's a rough spot. All that for what? Everybody lost. Prayers out to Sarah Roquet's family and his too. I'm sure they didn't know he was going to do that. But either way, man, this is sad all the way around. U.S. soldiers, that counts for something. You're part of the greatest military in history of mankind. And this is what you do. Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.